Alright, Shalom, Israel. All praise to YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. And Shalom to the electmen doing his work in truth and in sincerity. This lesson is going to be titled America is Finished. Experts warn of Venezuela's style hyperinflation. This will not end well for the United States. So right off the bat, you can see that the things that happen in Venezuela is going to happen in the United States, man. All right. If there's one thing that we can learn from the collapse of the monetary system in Zimbabwe, Argentina, and most recently Venezuela, is that printing money only works until you lose the confidence of your creditors and the public at large. And right, that's one of the reasons how Venezuela went wrong. But the economy was, not flourishing. So what? They continued to spend money. Continue to print money and print money and print money. And what did that cause? Inflation, even hyperinflation. All right? And you can see that that's what America is doing to this day. They continue to print money and print money and print money and print money. And what? They continue to print money and print money and print money. If they don't have any gold, they don't have anything to back it, man. So what? Soon enough, that's what's going to come to this place. What? Inflation? And then it says what? That is that printing money only works until you lose the confidence of your creditors. So basically going to show you that printing money and printing money and printing money, that's basically only a facade. All right? Printing money is only a facade to make it look like you're flourishing, make it look like you're doing well, but really you're not. That's why it says that until you lose the confidence in your creditors. Until your creditors or the people that basically support you stop supporting you. All right? The people that help you out, by basically trading with you, by basically working with you. What? By them stop supporting you. In which we know that China is one of the greatest assets to America. And that they basically help them out. And they basically are one of the biggest biggest traders with America. That's why everything is what you see is made in China. Even the American flag is made in China. All right? Even the American flag is made in China. So if China dips, that's it for America. All right? Now, and this is I want to get, all right? Because China, you see in this picture right here, it says BRICS started examining SWIFT alternative. And BRICS is basically an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And you can see all the leaders of the different nations right there. It says the BRICS members have kicked off consulting on an alternative to the global SWIFT system that processes about 1.8 billion financial messages annually. So the global SWIFT system processes financial messages between banks and between each banks in different nations. All right. So with that, I want to get another site. China's SWIFT. All right. Keep in mind the BRICS basically just implementing a alternative system to the SWIFT system. China's SWIFT alternative and the engineered death for the dollar. China, I'm gonna skip to the middle of this first paragraph. Let me see. News reports indicate that China is ready to launch its SWIFT alternative, and for those who have their ear to the ground, this is the most significant move yet in the unfolding process of de-dollarization that is seeing the BRICS-led resistance bloc breaking away from the financial stranglehold of the U.S.-led Washington consensus. Right. So basically, that's a chess move. In a nutshell, that's a chess move, man. For the de-dollarization, and then it goes on to say to break away from the U.S.-led basically the stranglehold of the U.S., man. Because what? If China changes their currency, then ultimately that means that the whole other nation is going to change their currency. Brazil, Russia, India, and the nations under them. So, basically if China sets it off, everybody else going to follow suit, which will leave America helpless, man. Because what? They can't trade because America doesn't have any gold. So if China changes his currency, he can't. He's not gonna. He can. China can't. Trade with America, because what? How are they gonna pay for it? They can't pay for it now. So China's not gonna accept America's dollars, man. They want gold. All right, and to prove that, I want to get this. It says,
we know that the gold has been moving from west to east. We know that China has been accumulating gold. It's my belief that you're going to see a meltdown in the financial system, and what comes after that will be some type of gold-backed or ratioed, more than likely electronic currency, sponsored by or the major player will be China. And they'll be using their gold to reboot the system, to reinflate the system. And the dollar and the U.S. not having gold, it's, as you well know, it's my belief that the 81 or 8,300 tons is, if not all gone, mostly all gone. The U.S. is going to be relegated to a corner with their paper. And the big problem with that is, how is the U.S. going to settle trade? We have this massive, $400 or $500 billion a year trade deficit. Those are good.
Right, so that's the point right there. He said it all. If China basically switches their currency to gold or the yuan's, if China basically switches their currency to gold or their currency, being backed by gold, America not having gold is gonna be pushed in the corner, which makes them basically like a third world country like Venezuela. No resources, no food, no anything, man. In which case, all hell anarchy is gonna come to this place, man. Sedition amongst men. When people don't have food, they act crazy, man. Shit, when people don't have money, they act crazy. So imagine food. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse Jeremiah chapter 50. I'm gonna start at verse 23. How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Why? Because Babylon, which is also America, but it's called, code name is Babylon in scriptures. Basically they put their trust in their dollar. So when the Lord put the spirit on these other nations to switch up on them, they're not gonna. America is gonna basically be caught with his pants down. One of the, I believe Maya Amschel Bauer, I forgot, I believe he was saying that give me control of a nation's money. I care not who makes the rules, man. I care not who makes the rules. So that's the money. If without the money, you ain't shit, man. So Esau, being Esau not having no money, without any money, without any basically he doesn't have any resources. His defenses are down, where he can't trade with nobody, which means he don't have. His defenses are down. He can't trade with anybody. He's just screwed, man. So just bring this lesson out, showing brothers that this place is finished, man. That's why Esau trying to push that chip so heavily, because he know the shit done. He know the money's finished, man. So with that, I'm gonna give all praise to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and shalom to the Lackman doing his work in truth and in sincerity. Shalom, Akim.